Hi, and welcome to the Unit 7, Day 1B electrochemistry lesson. In this lesson, we're going to address key question 1. Before we begin, I just wanted to remind you from lesson 1, since it was not stated explicitly in the lesson 1 video, is to make sure you write your lesson summary. And then also do these textbook problems that are linked in the spring break assignment document. So to begin, just a quick review. In the last lesson, we learned about what electrochemistry is, electrochemical cells. We talked about the different types, voltaic, electrolytic cells. We talked about the processes involved in electrochemical reaction or redox reaction, which is reduction and oxidation. And you learned about the electrodes of electrolytic cells, anodes and cathodes. So these are some of the key terms that came up and some of the key concepts that you need to know. For this video, we're going to look at how to balance redox reactions. Now, when balancing them, you have to consider whether it's taking place in a neutral, acidic, or basic solution. And one of the fundamental skills you need for that is we balance things using the half cell method. So you have to be able to split the redox reaction into their half reaction. In order to do that, you need to know the oxidation states or numbers. So we're going to begin there, understanding oxidation states or numbers. So there are, first we're going to start with just what an oxidation state is or oxidation number is. It basically tells you the relative amount of positive or negative character, not charge, of an atom. So the atom is not necessarily charged, it doesn't have a charge on it, but it has a certain amount of positive or negative character associated with it based on the atoms it's connected or bound to in the molecular compound. It's important to note that there are a bunch of sort of like rules that we use here. They're sort of listed in order of importance, like the ones you definitely want to adhere to, and then others that kind of depend on something else. But these rules don't explain how do you find the oxidation state of all of the atoms. It's just that we use these as our basic ones, and then figure out how to find the oxidation state of an atom from these. With that being said, rather than go through all of the rules with you do not have to write these notes down. You will be given hard copies of these notes next time I see you in class. And the best way to learn these things are to actually to do them. And so for that, rather than show you in this video, there are already some great videos out there of how to do that. So in your spring break assignment document, you will see for this lesson under oxidation states, there's 2 videos you're going to watch. The first one is how to calculate oxidation numbers introduction, and then the second one are practice problems. When you get to the practice problems, if you think you kind of know how to do it, you should pause the video and do it before it's done for you, just so that you can give yourself some practice before you start your textbook practice problems. So once you learn how to do oxidation states, you're going to use that skill for balancing redox reactions. And for that, there are a bunch of steps. But the main idea with any balancing reaction equation is that the number of atoms have to balance. Of course, you've seen that before. But also with redox, we also consider the charges. Usually we don't have to consider charges, but in all actuality, atoms and charges are always balanced. And that goes back to the law of conservation of mass. So there are multiple steps here. The very first step being using the oxidation states or oxidation numbers to sort of split up the overall reaction into half reactions. And that's why we covered oxidation states first. And then the rest of the reactions are sort of like using some sort of strategies or techniques to get your atoms balanced first, and then to get your charges balanced. And then combining the 2 half reactions back together again. To get them to get everything to balance, and simplifying if it's necessary. So that's kind of an overall. But once again, these steps make much more sense when you actually see them. So rather than going through them, if you want to pause the video and read through the steps to get a sense of what it's about, that's fine. If not, you can dive straight into these the videos that are linked in your document. First one being watching the balancing redox reactions in neutral solution. This one's fairly simple. And then in the second video, there's some example problems you can do. You can skip to the 6 minute and 42-second mark because that's where the practice problems begin. And again, just as before, when you're doing the practice problems, you can go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own first if you feel comfortable doing it. If not, you can just do it along with the video. So that was neutral. You also have videos for acidic that are linked there in the document. And again, you have your first video for watching, and then there's 2 practice videos. Last, you have it for basic, same thing, 1 for watching, and then 2 practice videos. This last practice video is done with Khan Academy. You can choose to do it or not. By the time you get to basic, since you've already done acidic, the basic problems are very similar to the acidic problems. So this last video is optional, this Khan Academy. All right, once you have completed all of the videos and you've gone through the lesson, you've done the practice, you write your summary, and you'll do these textbook problems. There are only 2, but they just really involve balancing redox reactions. These are the textbook pages that correspond to this assignment. So if you would like to read the textbook for additional support, you may do so. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a quality day.